Oh, we are here. We are live, you dead set legends.
Ready?
There it is, straight off the bat, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ready Bang. We are here in the Arm Wars after party. I'm your host, the Aussie Arm Wrestler. And as always, I am your 2019 Melbourne Cup 80 to 95 kilo left arm amateur third place getter. The most sought-after trophy in the arm wrestling world. But ladies and gentlemen, if you probably don't recognize this man because he does all of his work behind the camera. You all watched it. I saw everyone in the chat. You all watched the recent episode of Arm Wars. And it's this guy that waves his magic wand behind the camera and just turns millimeters into magic. He makes dogs' balls look like the Mona Lisa. And I am talking about my guest, James Statham. James, welcome.
You're too kind, Jake. Too kind,
mate.
But I'll take it. I'll take it. Thanks.
It's well deserved, guys. If you don't know, man, the Arm Wars channel, this guy is just spending hours and hours and hours, of course, with his crew, pick up and the works to provide some of the best entertaining. Like everyone just watched it. We all watched RVJ versus Sasho. We all knew what the result was, but we're still keen and pumped to watch this. What were your general thoughts? Because usually as a performer, we're probably our biggest critics. What were your thoughts when you just watched the final production and everyone in the comments?
It's usually the first time that I watch it fully all the way through is when it's live. So, because it's usually so much of a rush just to get it out and get it over and get it up on the channel so YouTube can do all its stuff that it needs to do. I don't know. It's just kicking back. It's just like work done, like a clockmaker. The sound of working clocks is the sound of work done. And just, I like my Friday nights when the video goes out. It's like, right, I can take at least a day off now. Just kick back.
Wow. No way, because Benji Max says Arm Wars to a movie theater near you. Mate, you should be working on the next matchup because I'm addicted. I am addicted, I think. And the one thing that I love about these Arm Wars videos is we are teaching the younger generation patience. Back in our day, James, when there was a TV show we absolutely loved, we got to watch one episode a week. We couldn't binge watch everything from start to finish and watch 5 seasons in a day while we've got bloody mustard on our mouth or something like that. So this is the thing that I love, that they're just slowly coming out, whenever they can, and they're top quality. How does
they will be more frequent as we get into with Reality Check? It was such a nightmare that the amount of rushes and everything, and plus it was the first event that I've ever filmed of any sporting account. My background's in making TV commercials and telly and all the rest of it. I've actually made quite a few Australian shows, but so once we get our teeth stuck into, plus, it's just me and Neil at the moment. So once we start to crew up and the channel starts to take off, and it will become more frequent, and we will get to the place where we will be able to have a match at a weekend and turn it out the following week, as quick as that. And obviously there's lives as well, but that's a different thing. Let's not talk about that just yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then how long so that RVJ versus Sasho match, that Ripper episode, how long editing, producing, direct, how long does that take for a 30-minute episode?
Just post-production or including
interviews
and stuff like that? Just pure post-production? I've got it down now where I can, once I've got everything onto the timeline in terms of all the interviews and everything, just in the timeline, they don't need to be organised. 4 days. 4 days.
Okay.
Rob and Sasha are a bit different because I didn't have a post-match interview from Rob. So I had to get a lot more interviews in. So it was a little bit more scatty. Usually with the interviews, we get to go round by round. So that's really easy to organise it. But with the interviews being a little bit more just kind of pre-match interviews and just asking every question under the sun because you don't know what's going to happen, and then trying to make them work with however the story unfolds, it takes longer. So yeah, probably about 6 days to do that one.
6 days. And how many hours a day? Are you just in the studio 8-9 hours a day? Is it in between work? When is it?
To start off, it starts off 5-6 hours a day, a bit loose, you know, doing other things. But then usually the last 2 days is just constant for 2 days, 24 hours a day. I usually try. I slept today for 2 hours. The night before, slept for 1 hour to get it turned around. So I'm shattered, guys. So if I get a bit mumbly, you're just gonna have to tough shit.
If Jason's brother gets his grumpy pants on, you know why? Because he's a bit tired. Savage Arm Wrestling has come in with a question. I like this one. He goes, how many camera angles does he utilize now for when he started with Arm Wars? So you weren't around for the first Arm Wars, were you, initially?
No. I was a fan. I watched it, but I was, busy in different world doing different stuff.
Well, then to answer Savage's question, how many cameras did you use for reality check?
4.
Yeah. Okay.
4.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So, do you bring a crew? Do you sit there and go, right, and you grab someone who's not pulling on the day and you go, right, I just need you to stand there and just ensure this fucker's turned on?
With reality check, it was me doing all the interviews, etc. And then when it was actually one of Ray's mates said, who was a photographer, said he can come over if he can be of any use. So I was like, yeah, get your ass over here, I'll give you a camera. And I put him on the far camera, the wide angle. That's actually on a slider, so you get a little bit of movement out of it as well. But he was a photographer, so he can't, I just spent a couple of hours with him beforehand, just going through the motions, a bit of practice, just leaving him with the kit for a little bit, and then just ran through the setup and just let him go at it, really. Because we've got the other cameras, it's not essential if something happens and he messes up, I can still throw an edit together with the rest of the cameras. So yeah. Go on, sorry.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I could send you a video of my dog throwing up and you would turn it into a masterpiece. There'd be suspense and the score would be nice. And it's like, is he going to throw up? Oh, my poor dog.
Just put music over it. It'll be great.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. And there'd be different camera angles. Mate, it is brilliant. Guys, first of all, I have pinned the Arm Wars channel to the top. Brilliant. Make sure everyone goes and subscribes to that. And not only do you have to watch the episode, but watch it again and then watch another 4 or 5 because as you can see, this James and Neil are just putting on ridiculous hours, and I would love to see the money side. Just reward them, give them hope, keep on going and feel better. Go for there. So yeah, everyone's jumping in saying they have subbed, which is brilliant.
Cheers, guys. Yeah,
so you were
really
in commercials and TV and things like that. So how do you go from TV and commercials to arm wrestling?
Pandemics are amazing. They do amazing things. So when the pandemic initially, just before the pandemic, for like a year, I was making holiday shows. Great, traveling around, making shit TV. Really, it was shit TV, but you're getting paid for it, and you get to travel about. And yeah, just the pandemic came along, and obviously anything to do with holidays or anything like that just got shut down. We kept pitching, and I had an arm wrestling table. I was into arm wrestling. I was trying to, in fact, I just got an arm wrestling table at the beginning of the lockdown, and I was trying to find people to arm wrestle with. And I just thought, you know what, I'm going to just start my own YouTube channel doing short documentaries because I've got all the gear.
Yeah.
Just making short documentaries on sports that I'm into, so strength sports, combat sports. And Neil lives relatively close to me. He's only about 20 miles away. And so I figured, well, that guy's well connected in that world. If I can, I'll make probably the first one on him. These were just going to be little 10-minute documentaries, but really highly produced, really smart. And yeah, we just kind of hit it off. And then I think he saw some of the stuff that I was doing, and then it kind of sparked an idea for him I think he got the offer to bring ARMWARS back to the Arnolds. And then, but I think he was going to turn it down. But then, I don't know, he saw something in the stuff that I was doing. Obviously, he knew that I was banging to arm wrestling anyway. So then we had a few conversations, and yeah, we just got pally. So it kind of went from, okay, I might be able to exchange favors with this guy. You know, I'll abuse him for his contacts, but I'll give him a documentary on him, and it'll be shit hot. To the guy's just an awesome dude. We just become mates, and then it's kind of gone from there. Really, just lots of long conversations on what's possible.
Oh, look, I think it'd be quite impossible not to get along with Neil. Yeah, it's just, I think it'd be, very impossible. But James told me off camera, if we can get 100 likes on this video, he will release Neil Pickup's home address. He said it to me, so he's going to put it out there. No, I'm only joking. Guys. We got Jordan Davis in the house, and he says,
all right, Jordan. All right, buddy.
The reach around says, exchanging favors, eh? So, okay. So you and Neil working together, bit of, helping it. Hey,
well,
helping
we know Neil likes men.
The reach around goes there. Right, let's get into the episode. The episode you just released.
Yeah.
RBJ and Sasho, we'll start with the fun bits. What's the fun bits about that match when all right, I'm ready to attack it. The fun bits of the editing and the backstage things. What are the best bits you like to do?
Finishing it.
Yeah.
There's not many fun bits in the edit. I'll be honest. It's not my favourite bit. But we're getting an apprentice, guys. So we might be able to hand some of that. Well, let's just see where that goes. But that's the post isn't my favourite bit. I've just done it forever, so it's just easy and quicker for me to do rather than pulling in an editor. Most times, most of the TV shows and commercials that I've done, I've always just edited them myself because it's quicker than bringing an editor in. So no, none of it, mate. The fun is the event. The fun is the event. The fun is getting to know the arm wrestlers more than probably any fan of theirs would ever get to know them, because I get to sit in a room with them for an hour, 2 hours, whatever, 45 minutes, and just really kind of try and it's my job to dive down into who they are, what drives them, or just all those kind of things. That's my favourite bit. And then when matches are good, you just can't beat that.
Well, we'll get So we'll get to that in a moment. Savage Arm Wrestling asks, have you ever had someone have rock star status on Arm Wars where they thought they didn't get enough camera time? Any divas?
No.
Nah, I wouldn't have thought so.
It's one of the reasons why I've kind of gone, you know what, I'm all in on this arm wrestling, is because in TV's full of divas. Commercials full of divas. I've done did music videos for a while. I've worked with lots of knobheads, and it's every second that I've spent in arm wrestling, everyone's just great.
Yeah,
they're just great.
When I first started doing podcasts and everything, I thought, because I wasn't sure where this all was going to go. And I thought, you know what? I'm getting the dirt. I'm going to get people to say that they hate everyone. And every time I've got someone on, I was like, who's someone that really pisses you off in the arm wrestling world? And they're like, no one. Everyone's pretty cool. And I was like, oh, okay, this is ridiculous. And then when I get to know people or you turn up to an event, it's like, oh, yeah, everyone's proper cool. Everyone's doing the right thing.
It's the same in most combat sports, mate. Because at the end of the day, you just get smashed in the nose if you're a dick. So it doesn't. You've got to. Obviously, there's people who do it on purpose for a reason. It's part of the character, you know. It's like a WWF thing, you know. But
yeah, one
yeah,
guy
it's
I
all
want
fun
you
and
to,
games at the end of the day.
oh,
Sorry, go on.
absolutely. And one guy I'd love for you to tag
Brad.
team up, and it
How are you,
almost
mate?
happened. 217, my man, Brad Cook, says James enters the arm wrestling world, and now he's looking more and more like a hard ass. Buzzed head and beard, attaboy. That's right. You gotta be tough, but everyone should be sucking up to James just quietly, because if
Everyone
you want
should go and follow Brad, by the way.
Oh yeah,
I'm a big
very
fan of
talented.
Brad.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Very, very good. And an absolute geek of my side of it as well. Me and Brad have had lots of conversations back and forth. He's been the reason why some of my edits have been a little bit close to the bone.
Ah,
yeah,
beautiful. Yeah, I love 217, and I just love Brad Cook as a good dude. Yeah, he's awesome. Jordan Davis wants to know, how's Jay Wang? No, love you, buddy. From 217, Jordan Davis asks, how's Jay Wang's hand?
I don't get the reference.
Yeah, who's Jay Wang's? No.
Apparently, I'm Jay Wank.
Okay. Oh, Jay Wang's hand job's going. There we go.
It's because Leaky Neil likes to give everyone a nickname, doesn't he? and I've just got no flaws. I'm just the perfect guy, so he has to come up with something.
Yeah, beautiful. Now back to the RVJ Sasho.
Yeah.
What was the most difficult thing to edit? So you got in there, and it's like, did you just turn up and go, yeah, this match was pretty terrible? Or was it like, oh, because he's Bulgarian, I didn't get much talking during the match from Sasho? What are some of the things where you just sit there and they're like, oh, they're really making me work today?
They didn't really say much at the table. They were both quite professional at the table. You know, there wasn't much really going on. But you can always count on Jeff to come in and spice things up, which is great. Oh. Cheers, Jeff. The hardest thing is probably one of the greatest things as well, which is Neil's commentating at a live event. Because, of course, he's got to entertain the audience, and a lot of them don't know about arm wrestling. He's got to tell them about, we're now putting a lot of stuff that the audience at home on YouTube don't need to hear, and so editing around that, but at the same time, it's also super useful because it's really good, and it's got that in the moment passion about it, where voiceover and regular commentary just can't really match that level of intensity that he can give on a stage when he's doing that. So that is both a blessing and a curse. Because sometimes he's doing it over the top of something that you hear at the table, or there's another conversation that nobody even knows is going on, but I can hear it in my cans because everyone's mic'd up, and I'm like, I don't need that. So I spend most of my time behind the camera going, looking through and all that kind of stuff. But
I'd tell you what, that'd be some good footage. You at an event telling the greatest commentator, announcer in our game,
it's great, isn't it?
Shut up. Right, away we go. Neil, shh. I got someone's talking at the table. Shut your mouth. I reckon that'd be hilarious.
It happens. But then at other times I'm like, Neil, give us a little bit. And obviously Neil just delivers because
he's just brilliant. Yeah. He comes second to the Aussie arm wrestler. It's amazing. It's just everyone knows I absolutely love it, and it'll be a dream to work with him one day, which we'll get to a bit later on. I've got a couple of facts here, and you've got to let me know if they are true or false, James. Bit of research on you here that you have. I've got this under good authority as well. These facts. That you have the largest collection of candles in Europe.
We've been talking to Neil.
I don't.
I've got 3 candles. They're just big ones.
I'm hearing it's the largest collection.
I like to make love. And if you're going to make love, you need big candles.
Big candles.
Yeah.
I would have gone for a big dick, but that's we'll go there. I've heard you've got the under good authority. You've got the country's most talented cat.
Jesus is pretty talented. Yeah, I don't know where he is at the moment. I brought some cat treats because he usually interrupts any kind of Zoom or anything like that, but he's behaving.
And my last one, you recently pulled a 55-kilo WAF champion, Captain Scarlet Steve Rogers, in a steakhouse gravies tables match.
Yeah, and I got ice cream on my sleeve to show for it. He's strong. He's strong. That is sorry, just going back to an early question you asked about what are some of the great things. The access to some to world-class pullers. I haven't really got time to pull them at the event, but when they come here to do interviews and I get them on the table and they smash me, but it's just feeling that level of competency is fantastic. Yeah.
So what made you get into, because you're training as well and you wouldn't mind getting on the table and competing yourself
tomorrow?
So, where are you competing and how can I watch this?
I don't know if it's live. And don't tell Neil, because Neil told me not to, because I've got a bit of a niggle on my right elbow. But so it's Arm Wrestling Gods in Leigh.
Oh, yes.
And so you'll know it if you was based in Warrington when you was over here, if you was into arm wrestling. So yeah, Arm Wrestling Gods, Tom Atherton's event. I think it's his first one going out solo. So I don't know if it's live streamed or anything like that, but we've got, I think Mendaugas is pulling on the card. But I'm just entering the novices.
Yeah. No, that's all right, mate. If you ever come to Australia and you bring some of that Arm Wars money, you might be able to have a left arm match with the Aussie arm wrestler. Thomas Day says, "Love the production quality, James. You are
Thomas.
What arm wrestling needs." Absolutely. What you just If could you is the with this whole Arm Wars 2.0. First of all, you're just giving anyone and everyone. Yourself and Neil, another place on the big stage. Arm wrestlers we might not have heard of are getting a big push. You know what I mean? Like Jordan Davis was at Ironhouse. A lot of us in arm wrestling know, but you
well, that's all down to Neil. That's all down to Neil. Neil has his ear to the ground. Neil introduces arm wrestlers to me and goes, check this guy out. I'm going to put this guy against this guy. And then sometimes I can see it. Sometimes I'm a bit like, it looks like a mismatch. And then he's right. He's always picking right.
Yeah. But then you're just able to make him look top quality. You just make him look top quality in that production. I just can't. Yeah. And everyone in the comments is the same. Is everyone just... I think we're just getting a bit too much.
Before we move on, I know I keep interrupting you, but we do have an onus to the arm wrestler. When I'm sat in the edit suite, I feel the pressure of people like Jordan, and pretty much everybody who comes to pull at an Arm Wars event, they put everything on hold to come and put their arm on the line, their reputation on the line, and get up on that stage to entertain us. And I take that pressure to be like, okay, I've got to do good by these guys, win, lose, draw, whatever. They're sacrificing a lot and they're trusting me with their reputation. So I feel a lot of pressure to look after that reputation and do my best by them, which is one of the reasons why I do all-nighters. Sorry, that was answering an earlier question.
No, you're right, because you can just tell by the quality of work. You take it very seriously, and because you've been training and now getting ready to compete, you've got an insight of what's required. And I think you can just ease that pressure on yourself, mate, because what you're doing just knocks it out the park every time.
You wait for Ironhouse.
That's what I want to get to without giving too much away. What I want to know is, so reality check. It was at Arnold's on the main stage. It looked like hundreds of people, if not thousands of people there.
At least, I think the smallest audience might have been 1,000 or 2,000, probably the biggest. Excluding the people who weren't actually watching the stage, probably 10, 15,000.
So then,
probably at its peak.
what was the pros and cons in a live crowd of 2 to 10,000, and then being in an empty house for Ironhouse? What are the pros and cons for both?
I just thought of a simile that I'm not going to use. It's because my girlfriend might watch this. It's completely different, mate. It's one of the atmospheres for both are fantastic. Absolutely. In many ways, the house is probably a bit more special. If you're coming to pull in an iron house, don't be misled by the thought that it's any less pressure than competing in front of 2,000, 10,000 people, because all the guys in the room are world-class arm wrestlers. They know every single thing about what you're doing, what you're thinking, what you're going through, where you're trying to get. They all know, and it's a cauldron of intimacy, and nobody holds back. Nobody holds back. It's it's great. It's really, really good. Yeah.
And the whole world.
I enjoyed the atmosphere in the house way more than being on the stage. Way more. It was fantastic.
Well, my future work colleague Neil Pickup in the chat, he's just come in there and he goes, "We'll take Ironhouse all day, every damn day." That is unbelievable. Thank you, Neil. Yeah. I was looking at some photos, and you guys released that small snippet.
No, that was just Leaky Neil. I didn't want to release that. That's just Leaky Neil.
I turned into an FBI agent. I looked at it. I reckon I watched that a good 300 times, and it was like, you've got the photos on the wall, and you've got the line there, and I was like, hang on, Dell's pulled there, and that's Co-Trainer Hook. That looks like a third round, and this, that, the other, and then I tried. Then went up and spent the weekend with Ryan for an event, Ryan Bowen, and I told him what I thought the results were, and he just shit all over it. So for me, that was good, because I genuinely thought I'd nailed it. I thought I'd guessed it all, and then Ryan went, no, this, and this, and we're complete opposites. So I thought that was. Even though you don't want to release any content, it's
I've got to give him that. It did. I did admit to him afterwards that it was because everybody has got different opinions on it. It's a better promotional thing, just letting people know that it happened and how epic it was, because it was epic. Some serious emotions flying around in that house that weekend.
I can. Oh, geez. I can only. Of course, everyone here, we all want to dive into Ironhouse, but I am very old school. I don't want to know the results. We've gone beyond now. The first week when Ironhouse finished, if someone leaked the results, for me, I would have been like, oh, cool, let's talk about it. But now it's gone beyond that. I am when I see a magician, I don't want to know how the trick's done. I'm just amazed. I think it's brilliant, and I cannot wait for Ironhouse. Iron Dick said Armhouse, so get muddled up here. But is there an idea, a rough estimate where we'll get our first Ironhouse video? I know you still got a bit of reality check to do, but is there a rough time frame? Let's, with a pinch of salt, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the 22nd
of March. April. Okay, I was going to say
that's like next week.
10 days. I was like, we just dropped the bomb here. This is amazing. Live stream for 10 days straight to get exclusive footage. That's
22nd of March, but there will be things coming out prior to it, obviously leading up to it. There'll be bits and bats of stuff. So everyone's got an idea of what to expect. But 22nd at the latest.
22nd at the latest. How many competitors were only if you can. I'm not fishing for exclusives or anything. Don't get me wrong. But how many competitors were at Ironhouse? If you can say. If you can't, say fuck off.
The perfect amount.
Oh,
It was the perfect amount. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect amount.
And one thing I want to commend ARMWARS or anyone about yourself, Neil, is the, what do we call it? I'd probably call it the respect of the pullers. Like giving nothing, not even a tease. It'd be like, oh, hey James, how good was it? The Jordan one, and it's not a wink, it's not a nah, it's not a raise of the eyebrow. It's just stone cold, bang. That's it.
That's the reputation and the respect that Neil's gained over 25, 30 years in the sport.
Has there been a moment? Has there been a moment where you thought someone might have leaked it? You thought, or you don't have to name the names, but you were just looking at one pool and you're like, oh, I reckon if anyone was going to let out a little bit, it'd be that person there. Or was everyone under the one banner, rock solid, let's take it?
Yeah, I'm not giving it much thought, really.
Yeah.
Just because, just trust the pullers. They trust us, we trust them. Yeah. I'm not giving it much thought. But the fact, because if it had happened, everybody would know about it really quickly. And we'd find out where it come from, and we'd just be like, yeah.
Well, that's you and ARMWARS done.
Yeah.
that is you and ARMWARS done. What's the next matchup from Reality Check that's going to come out, or have they all been done?
No, we've got. What have we got left? We've got. So I'm going to start combining them, just so we can get through them. We can get to Ironhouse quicker, and I'm sure everybody wants to get to Ironhouse quicker. And some of them we've got some Popescu matches. Popescu had 3 matches.
Brilliant.
With 3 big guys. I don't know how much I really want to say, because I'm sure some people, if they don't know about the matches, I'm sure they don't want to know the results. What else have we got? Oh, and we've got the Vlad and Bodge left and right still to come.
Oh, that'd be good.
Very, very. The right hand particular, great match. And I've got some really nice technical perspectives on it. And for anybody who is wanting to understand elite arm wrestling more on a technical level, watch that when it comes out.
Yeah, Snack Crackle and Popescu. Yeah, he was unbelievable. 217 has just jumped in. There's all this talk about no one can super chat. Very appreciative that you want to super chat, guys, but somehow Brad's got one in, so I'm not sure what's happening in the chat. James, 2-to-1 aspect ratio is the best ratio ever.
Well, we are shooting them in anamorphic. So if anybody's wondering about the whole cropped screen thing, it's not because, and Brad knows this, but for anybody else who's wondering, it's not because we're kind of chopping the top and bottom of the screen off to make it look more cinematic. We're shooting on cinema lenses. We're shooting on anamorphic lenses. So that is why not all of the cameras. For Reality Check, I only had 2 cameras with the cinema lenses on, with the anamorphic lenses. The other 2 more central cameras was we just need some cameras. Let's just get something in there. I just needed a big wide, and so they were very kind of, But then I went and got another camera. So then when we went to Ironhouse, 3 of the cameras are all cinema cameras with cinema anamorphic lenses on. So the production quality is going to take another step up again.
Oh, and
it does fly in the convention of shooting sport. Shooting sport, you want high frame rates, high shutter speeds, and you want as much field of view as you can get. But because of the level of control you can have with arm wrestling, because it pretty much all takes place in this one spot, we don't need to be as seat of your pants documentary. We can be more filmic.
Yeah, it's and you are making Brad Cook drool. He says anamorphic, and he's got some drooling emojis. That is unreal. Guys, got no idea about the super chats, why they're working or not working. Everyone's saying laughing and things like that. So we'll get to some questions with James soon. But whenever you come on the show, you've got to play Arm Wrestling's favorite game, James. Pin one, lose one, get rid of one. I'm going to give you the name of 3 pullers, and you have to put one in each category. So we'll go from there.
Sorry, what are they? Pin one, lose one.
And you've got to get rid of one. They can't be on any YouTube. They're not allowed to compete. They're having the rest of 2022 off.
Just eradicate them from life. Okay.
That's all right. Once again, Marcus, I know you're a huge supporter. He's still saying he can't super chat.
Marcus was giving us some great comments on the film tonight. So cheers, Marcus. Thanks for that.
Oh, he's a really good dude. Really good dude. So I'm not too sure. I've got to go back. I just want to find this one comment because Savage Arm Wrestling, where was that comment? He has been a member for 2 months, and he says ready bang, but it hasn't come up on my bloody. I'll have to find it another day. I can't. Sorry, Savage, but it has come up on my phone, but it hasn't come up on my screen. He's been a member for 2 months, an absolute banger. All righty, got to give you the name of 3 people. Pin one, lose one. The other one, get rid of him. First one, Coach Ray is your first one. Second one is your partner in crime, Neil Pickup. And the third one is Eddie Hall. People in the chat, while James has a bit of a think, you all play this.
I've got it already. I've got it. Right. So, get rid of Coach Ray. He's too small. He's too small. He's too small.
It's too small.
It's too small. Then I'd love to beat Neil, really. I've pinned him 1,000 times and I've been gifted 1,000 pins.
Yeah.
And I'd love to lose against Eddie Hall because that means he is serious about arm wrestling and he might give it a go.
Oh, look at you trying to be all clever and take one over on the game. So I can't. Poor Coach Ray. He's so good for the sport. You've done a couple of shows with him.
I love the guy to bits. He knows it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, mate. This game is all banter. No one takes this game seriously. That's why it's. I love it. That is awesome. So you're pitting Neil. You're losing to Eddie Hall, and then from there, would Eddie Hall come back to arm wrestling? Do you know? I know Neil has a great relationship.
Neil knows Eddie really well. I've only met Eddie a handful of times. Neil. That's a Neil question. I think he's got his hands full at the moment. He's probably not thinking of anything past next week. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is fine. And now I'm going to fire, and we'll get back to reality check and INS and things like that. If anyone who's joined the chat, if you don't know who James Statham is, he is the director, the man when it comes to behind the camera and making sure Arm Wars looks unbelievable. It is Neil's partner in crime. This is the man, the quality. So when you watch anything that is on the new Arm Wars channel, pinned to the top of the comment section, it is because of this man right here. Get amongst it. The guy does fantastic work. Quick fire questions. No thinking. You got to answer them. We've got about 8 or 10 for you. Do you prefer super matches or tournaments?
Super matches. There's a huge place for both. We need both.
Oh, absolutely. I did say only one word answers, but you had to. Of course, you have to say you're working for ARMWARS. Fuck off! Stop it, Jack. Jack, with your gob shape, with your mouth, Jack. With your mouth.
I thought you was asking me rapid fire questions. Come on.
I am. Yeah. Hey, one man, one voice is my show. Do what I want. Are you a fan of the King's move?
I don't mind it.
Who's your favourite puller to film?
I can't answer that one.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, good. Yeah, and that's fine. If anything remotely gives anything away to ARMHouse, I'm glad. Yeah, I'm not fishing for anything.
It's not just that. They've all different things, different reasons. Yeah.
Yeah. What is your favourite thing to film? So throughout your whole career, what's your favourite thing?
Arm wrestling.
Okay. Who's the worst person you've ever worked with?
Neil Pickup. Leaky Neil Pickup.
Before I get to the rest of the questions, I'll just address something. Marcus Thompson goes, Jesus, Jay, going to have to double bang next show if I can super chat. Guys, I just love the sport of arm wrestling. Super chats are just always a bonus. Just because there's no super chats or anything doesn't mean I don't love yous or I'm annoyed. Thank you very much, Marcus. You, out of anyone, you did not have to explain yourself, buddy. But yeah, thank you very much, everyone trying to super chat. Not sure what's going on. Hopefully it's nothing on my end, but we'll see how we go from there. All righty. Do you prefer?
If Neil's in the chat, can we not dial him in?
Neil,
if he's in the chat, is he?
Hang on,
it's probably past his bedtime.
That's all right. I'll send him the link.
It's 2 days past my bedtime. Just so you know.
2 days. I'm sending it to him on Instagram. I'm going to send him the link now. Where are we? Messages. Where are you, Neil?
Yeah, there's a reason why I partnered up with Neil, because when it comes to talking, that kid can talk.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Talks underwater. It's brilliant. I've sent him the link on Instagram. If you are still around, Neil, mate, feel free to jump in. Do you prefer league or union?
League.
Go to the Warrington Wolves. That's my team over there.
Wigan Warrior.
Yeah, yuck. EastEnders or Coronation Street?
So don't watch them.
Yeah.
Don't have time. Too busy making stuff.
What's Jason like at dinner time?
What's who like?
Jason, your brother. Jason Statham, your brother.
Are we going to wrap this up soon, or?
And the last question is, when is the Aussie arm wrestler going to work with ARMWARS?
Sooner than people may think.
There you go.
Maybe there's something already, there's wheels already in motion. Maybe people may get a glimpse of the Aussie arm wrestler in the Iron House Productions.
You never know, guys. You never know. I'll tell you what. Some people are firing off some questions. Beans or fish fingers?
Fish fingers.
What else have we got? Is he a United fan?
You better believe it.
Are you really?
Yeah.
I'm all about Brentford.
Brentford Town?
Yeah, the Bees. Mate, I used to watch them when they were in League Two in the snow with my brothers, and like 200 people went to the game. I watched us get relegated to League Two, and now we're in the Premier League after all these years. I'm very happy.
Something to
Guys, get some questions in for James Statham. He is the man behind Arm Wars. Brad Cook wants to know, when is Arm Wars coming to stateside?
Oh, when the world sorts itself out, and when we're stronger as Arm Wars, really, but more so when the world sorts itself out.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on at the moment. It's not easy. It's hard enough just bringing people to here as a hub. Never mind taking the hub out to. But we want to. You know, Neil's done it many times before. I can't wait to do it. So yeah, we want to as much as you want us to, guys. Believe me.
Well, I want to elaborate in a moment. Retro Rice the Gaming is asking James, is your beard drawn on? Cheeky sod.
It's brand new. I've only just started it. So yeah. And for the first time, because I used to have quite a big beard, but it was very just natural. Never had it. I had it trimmed a little bit when it got a little bit too much. But yeah, on Friday I went for my first kind of. It's all a bit too straight and angular for me. Not a big fan.
Oh.
First and last time I'll be going to barbers for. Yeah.
A bit of Photoshop. Fox 8 Ball wants to know, who's James' biggest scalp? Who's the best person you've felt like you've pinned properly?
I don't know whether I have. If they let me into if they give me the start, a few of them have said, you know, yeah, that was legit. But, you know, ready goes a completely different kettle of fish. You know, you've got to get there. So
do you hook or top roll?
Top roll predominantly, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm relatively new. I've still got all the new.
It's always top roll,
yeah. Yeah. Get that back.
Going back to reality check, mate, give us a big, massive behind the scenes look. People were in the flights were getting cancelled. Matches were getting changed left, right, and center. Mate, let's go into that. What was the big, massive, shit show that it was becoming? Because behind the scenes, you poor bastards, it looked like it was slowly, crumbling. It was never going to fit itself. But talk us through everything.
Well, I mean, Neil had to deal with most of that because, you know, that's the pullers having issues, you know, that's all down to Neil to sort out. And for the most part, I got to kind of just get on with what I needed to do. And yeah, but the only real part of it that flooded into my part of it, apart from, you know, certain guys not being able to get my pre-match interviews or post-match interviews for one reason or another, was just some of the injuries, you know, really kind of, yeah, that was the worst of it, really. That's the bit that really, if we could have gone back and changed anything and said, okay, some of the bad shit didn't happen. Definitely, I think the injuries, and you know, it's never nice to see those guys come over, put it all out on the table, and go back home with an injury, and
yeah. Well, you had Jeff Hale, Ryan Espy. Who else was there? Didn't RVJ have a bit of a pec issue?
No, that was Sasho, but
sorry.
But he didn't make us aware of it during the match. He just, you know, stoic as ever. Stoic European, just got on with the job.
Yeah, that's what he does. He was there. But yeah, all the injuries and Ryan Espy's flight, I reckon, got cancelled 19 times to fly across the other side of the world.
Yeah, he was so I think he was supposed to arrive Thursday morning. He arrived Friday evening. So he'd been traveling for 4.5 days, just continuously, just sitting in airports, going from, I think he went to France at one point, and I don't know the details. So I was just like, well, just let me know when he arrives. And we just kept changing. It's just the schedule's changing all the time because you're trying to accommodate all the different things that went down. So I think all in all, the fact that we got in some pretty good arm wrestling, and you know, and the crowds loved it, and I think we gained a lot of. I said we at that point. It's all Neil.
Yeah.
Because at that point I'm doing what I need to do, but it hasn't been out there yet. So I think Neil gained a lot of arm wrestling fans over that weekend at the ARMWRESTLING. Yeah.
I mean the RVJ Sasho match, if that's got anything to go by, because there was so much piss farting around at the table with the knuckle and the strap and taking the strap off and putting it back on again. It's
sorry, I can answer a question that you asked me earlier on, actually, about if there is a favourite thing about the post-production part, is when I can squeeze in a bit of information that somebody who's even maybe a little bit more than a casual fan may learn something about certain matchups or just exactly what the nuances of what's going on there at the table. So yeah, I like it when I can sneak some of them in and it still goes along with the story and it helps tell the story. Yeah, I like it when a story comes together. And,
oh mate, yeah, you do that. Like I was watching, what was I watching? The Uncle John David Bradford match from Reality Check. I knew the result. And I was still like, I reckon Uncle John's got something here. I reckon he can get one. And knowing
he nearly did.
He nearly did. I'm like, here we go. And yeah.
The similarities between the two matches with him and Sasho, with Rob and Sasho and John and David, was because they both nearly kind of got somewhere in the match by holding onto fingers at one point. And yeah. But you have to when the matches are 6-0, you have to. It's very difficult to edit and create something out of it, and you have to rely heavily on the personalities of the guy. And I think we had this conversation when we had John and Rob on the Fix about a month ago, and they were kind of, defending their cause. Well, Rob was basically saying how he couldn't do that orchestrated persona thing. And vice versa. John was saying, well, I can't do that. But in the same breath, they're both great. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's all about just tuning into the arm wrestler and what they can offer as a character or as a person. And yeah.
Well, I thought, if you're right in the nooks and crannies of arm wrestling, I thought seeing RVJ in a different light, because that wasn't the RVJ we're all used to knowing, even at events. He's hitting tables, he's pumped up, he's exciting. So us in the small arm wrestling purists and diehards, I was like, man, that is awesome. Like, you captured it very well. And then, of course, the entertainment side of me, when Uncle John's screaming at everyone, he gets pumped 6-0 and he pinches the microphone off Neil and challenges the whole crowd. I thought they were both brilliant. I thought it was just...
You're going to hate me for this, but I really can't do with wrestling, professional wrestling. I can't do with it. But the way that John has managed to kind of bring that into arm wrestling, I find it highly entertaining. I think it's great. And it gives me something to work with. I think you see people's comments and somebody's commenting, oh, can't you tell that someone's mates with John and this and that and the other? It's like, no, you just give me stuff to work with. I can only work with what I've got. And if a puller gives me that material to work with, then, I'll create whatever I can out of it. I'll use it to tell a story.
Well, that's what I mean. It just makes perfect sense. Hey, David, what happened here on round one? I got advantage and I was going to pit him. Okay, cool. John, what happened here? Well, I'll tell you what, he was messing around and Paul Maiden was giving me the shit and I wanted the hand and I was just thinking I'm going to rip his arm off the table and beat the Queen with it. Yeah, I know which one. I'm going to put in post-production. You know what I mean? So you did a...
Yeah, to be fair, David's actually pretty good in the interview.
He was all right, but I'm just saying, when people hanging shit on Uncle John or your mate...
But my favourite line is when John said, David Bradford just looks like an arrogant fucking asshole. And I was just like, oh, that's going in. Yeah.
And the irony of it.
Built up to that and kind of shaped everything in that little section there I think it works really well. Yeah.
So after all the editing, reality check, Iron House, is it September? Is it September where the next Arm Wars is? When's the next Arm Wars?
We're having conversations. Nothing's been announced, Jake.
Oh, okay. Why did I think something had been announced? Nah, I must have been in my dreams.
We're having conversations definitely about having one before the end of the year, and potentially considerably before the end of the year. So potentially before the end of the summer.
Whoa, look out for this one. This one's going to be an absolute banger. I tell you, I think just like I would imagine that you would plan to have bits and pieces ready to go, but then the rules change like halfway during the day. You know what I mean? Like you might have Bulgarian and Polish athletes ready to go, and then they're like, "Oh, actually, you're not allowed to leave the country anymore. Sorry," and we'll have to get some fill-ins and things like that. That would be a nightmare.
Yeah, but that's the problem in all world arm wrestling, in all world sport at the moment, isn't it? You know, you guys more than anybody know what it's like to have your government shit all over your plans, but
hence why I'm still in my garage.
It is what it is.
All right, guys, a couple of more minutes before we wrap it up. So get some questions in, and we'll ask James some questions ask him anything before we finish up on the show. James, can you think of anyone to nominate who you think would be a fun guest on the Aussie Arm Wrestler podcast?
What, an arm wrestler specifically?
It could be an arm wrestler, an entertainer, whoever you think would just be hilarious to get on the show.
I'm trying to think of people that you've not already had on the show. Who do you want on the show? And let's just have a conversation about whether they'll be good or not. Shall we do that?
Eddie Hall. Get me Eddie Hall.
Let's speak to Neil. Let's speak to Neil for that.
You're the man. No, I sometimes I think I've really wanted people on the show, and then they come on the show and I'm like, yeah, you've made me work for my money there and things like that. I don't mind. It's just a fun little thing. Anyone and everyone will go from there. But Jody Williams wants to know, Chocolate Thunder. He goes, how far do you see this version of Arm Wars going?
Well, it's adapting all the time. It's changing all the time. So it depends what you mean, Jody, by this version. If you mean the concept of, which do you think it means? Iron House?
How many arms?
Because that's not this version. Iron House is the next version, and then there'll be just
Arm Wars Down Under. Arm Wars Down Under. Ooh, that'd be lovely.
I love Australia. It's a great place.
Australia loves you. Jordan Davis trying to be cheeky. He says, "What's your favourite Iron House match?" That's a no comment there, Jordan. You cheeky sod. White Wolf wants to know.
I think that the best Iron House match was Jordan Davis and Sandy Shedis competing in the kitchen. Do you know Jordan made me about 6 meals over the 5 days? That guy kept me alive.
That's
Genuinely,
awesome.
That guy kept me alive. Yeah. Every time I walked into the kitchen, it was like he had cameras on me, knowing I was coming. I walked in and there'd be a plate of food there. It's great.
Oh,
yeah.
I think that's also as well, like you mentioned earlier, the camaraderie. You know what I mean? Like these guys didn't just turn up. I've just got to arm wrestle. They're like, shit, James is doing all this work. Hey man, plate of food for you every time.
Yeah, brilliant.
I think that's awesome. White Wolf wants to know.
Everyone's super helpful, and I'm sure you know, but Uncle, in the house, I had Jordan and John, and Tom Atherton as well on the, let's call it the air camera.
Yeah,
they were on the air camera, and it was. I still haven't watched the footage yet. I'm excited to see what them guys got.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I know Uncle John was bragging. He was like, "Yeah, you might see a few frames from me," and I'll be like,
"Well, you'll see
okay.
it." Yeah. I use that angle quite a lot, so it better be good.
Who's going to win out of Matt Mask and Tim Bresnan?
It's hard to pick against Matt Mask, isn't it? In that,
yeah, I think Matt Mask.
Yeah.
Shits it in. Thank you, Dino DeFebo. I'm sorry if I've butchered your last name. He says, great work, James. Thanks for entertaining the fans and showing the world this awesome sport. Awesomeness all around, which is awesome. And just double checking, who wins in the kitchen between Cobra and Uncle John? Have you had any food from Cobra Roads?
No, but it's got to be cooked. I've seen Cobra's cooking, and as a cooking fan myself, he knows what he's doing. I'm not so sure John's ever opened anything. He just opens stuff, doesn't he, and puts it in over. Can John cook? Can he? I genuinely don't. I didn't see him cook anything.
No,
I don't know.
No, I've got no idea. Guys, we've been going just over an hour. We are going to wrap it up there. Please, if you can, do everything to check out. First of all, go back and watch the latest episode of Arm Wars Reality Check. It's the RVJ versus Sasho episode, and you have the director.
I've got a question for you, Jake. What was your favourite video? What's been your favourite one?
My favorite one, probably because he's more my friend. Anything to do with Uncle John, I think, is, we speak 3 or 4 times a week. So it's like watching your mate on the show. Anytime Jeff Hale pops into a camera, I am just drawn to something like that because he's just an entertainer. What's everyone's favorite episode in the chat?
It's Jeff.
What's your favorite episode?
Shame. Probably Coach Ray versus Craig Sanders.
Oh, that was probably my favorite.
Yeah, that was good.
Was that the video that you like when you released the video? Was that the one where you sat there and just went, "Good job"?
No, I just loved the match. I just thought the match was great. The video, I think, for half of it, we had a battery problem with one of the cameras or something. So yeah, the video was a bit. I can't remember what it was. There was something that frustrated me about that video. But love both them guys, and just to see them both go balls to the wall was
it was match of the night.
My favourite match, yeah.
It was brilliant. What are some people saying in the chat? We've got first of all, Marcus Thompson, you don't owe me anything. Appreciate the love. People saying the Ryan Espy match was favourite for me from White Wolf. Marcus Thompson is the same as you, James. Here's Ray. Coach Ray the Terrible says Uncle John was a good one. Coach Ray's match with Sanders. Marcus Thompson also loved Bogdan's matches.
I forgot about that. That was the first one I edited.
Yeah, Stoica and Rhoda.
That was great. I'd love to go and re-edit that one, but I'm not going to do it. Fuck off.
Come on, mate. It only takes you a good 24, 48 straight hours to do it.
Yeah.
So we can all watch it. Fox 8 Ball says Bojidar Vlad for the battle. He really liked that one.
That's yet to come, guys. You need to subscribe, hit that bell, like every video. And we've also got memberships coming soon. So expect some news on
give us more about that. So is it channel memberships or is it a separate Arm Wars membership?
It's Arm Wars membership to the Arm Wars channel. But we're still working out what those perks are going to be. So if anybody's got any ideas what they'd like from us, we're all ears for 48 hours before we make some decisions.
Yeah, beautiful. Keep an eye out for that. That is fantastic. Arm Wars memberships. I think that will skyrocket everything. So at the top of the comment section is, and deservingly so. deservingly so. Like, absolutely, the amount of work to return is not even close, and it's a real shame.
I wouldn't like to imagine. I mean, in terms of cash, obviously there is a lot of cash being spent, but just in terms of hours between myself and Neil, if you kind of try to assume that in wages and the money we've not earned through, I've not done a single other job apart from ARMWARS for 6 months.
Wow.
So yeah.
And that's straight from the director, guys. That is commitment. He's putting everything else on hold because he believes in ARMWARS. We believe in ARMWARS, but what we have to do now is show James and Neil why we believe in ARMWARS. Now, if you don't have the money to sign up for a membership, go watch 4 or 5 videos a day.
Oh, we're still going to be putting out free films. Yeah, this isn't. We're not going to be taking anything away. We're currently brainstorming about how we can give more.
Yeah, absolutely. That is brilliant. Guys, we will wrap it up here. I cannot thank the director of ARMWARS, James Statham. Make sure you go check everything out there. Like, share, and subscribe. Everything that is the new ARMWARS channel. Hopefully, by the time this live stream finishes, you would have hit the 6,000 subscriber mark.
How are your likes going on? Has everybody liked? How many people are watching and how many likes have you got?
Yeah, we've been going all right. Yeah, we've been averaging about 35 viewers, and we've got about 45 likes. But I want everyone to go. I want everyone to go like ARMWARS. I just enjoy chatting the behind the scenes stuff. So everyone is up and about, and Ready Bang Wars should be the next name of your new ARMWARS coming from Marcus Thompson, your big legend. All right, guys, we will wrap it up there, and we will definitely talk to you guys soon. James, can you end the stream with a Ready Bang?
Ready Bang!
Absolutely love it.
Good